Hello again. Welcome to the Retrocade podcast, episode 18. It's Phil here, and who's replacing Sean tonight, as he's not around, is local champion artist Andrew.
Hi. I'm here because no one else is.
We needed somebody to replace Sean.
Yeah, well, I was going to come anyway. So.
Yeah, and here you are, so.
It's fine. I have plenty to talk about.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. We're going to talk a lot about the Star Wars that we've been, that we just saw. It was most impressive, I'd say. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, just
talk.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I can, how loud I am. Or
yeah, you got to just talk into it.
Talk into the microphone.
Yeah, that's better, yeah. So last night was the the open premiere of Rogue One, or the like kind of like, they don't even do the midnight showings anymore the night before. They come out on the 16th, but
it's because they're like, oh, these nerds are old now. They have to go to work.
They all have to go to work the next morning. I guess we'll make it earlier than midnight to get the asses in the seats. And so we went to 10:45 showing locally. And we saw Rogue One, the first Star Wars spin-off movie. We went with a big group. Sean was there, I was there, and a few others. All nearly packed, only four.
Yeah, I would say so. There was a line. It was a good line.
There was a good line. Not as big as Force Awakens when we saw that.
Yeah.
But there was a line. And, the movie directed by Gareth Edwards, yeah. Starring Felicity Jones, Diego Luna, Mads Mikkelsen is in it, Donnie Yen, Forrest Whitaker, all the greats, and the score was done by Michael Giacchino. It was not done by John Williams. But let's go right into it. I mean, what did you? This is gonna be, I guess, a spoiler. Fully spoiler. I can't not talk about it. At this point, the movie's out, but if you haven't seen it, watch the movie first.
How much time do we got? Because we can't spoiler free.
No, yeah, I mean, because you're gonna just want to say.
If you haven't seen the movie or care, you should probably go away.
Yeah, exactly. Just go watch the movie and then come back and go check it out.
Okay, you've been warned.
Yeah, you've been warned.
Okay, so where do you want to? Do you want to just dive into anything, or you just want to pick it up from?
Give your overall. You saw the movie. How did you like it? And then we could break it down.
Okay, well, when I go back and think about The Force Awakens, and while I love the movie, there's like a lot of things that you look back and you're just like, yeah, it really does kind of follow that New Hope narrative. Not as much as people complain about it, but it does follow a certain, that formula that kind of restricts it to that. Well, this was a completely original thing. And yeah, it does have the thing, but with the plans and everything. But that was really the only plot point that they were using, not following a huge guide of events.
No, not the same rubric of kind of. The Force Awakens did, a bit of the hero's journey, which is it's an archetypical style where the youth gets thrown into the mix of things and has to kind of save the day.
Yeah, coming into their own.
Whoop.
Oh, here we go. What is this?
Yeah, nothing. Nothing.
But I did like the movie a lot. They were a little. It's not perfect. It was a little slow in the beginning, but I think the payoff is definitely worth it.
Oh yeah, there's definitely lag moments in Rogue One, but overall, it definitely met and exceeded expectations. It's a good movie, and I think as I watch it more, I'm gonna enjoy it more. If more things, because I had heard some reviews before it came out, to the general public. And so I was going in grounded, not like, because maybe a few months ago I thought, well, this is probably going to be really good. And then I had heard some things, well, the score is not that good, all the thing, legs. I was hearing a lot of.
I didn't think the Force Awakens score was that amazing.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah. I liked the Force Awakens score.
It has some good songs,
particularly Rey's
really
theme. The Jedi steps at the end, which incorporates not only Rey's theme but also the Force theme. So that's all.
There's not a whole lot. I could sit there and I can listen to the entire, A New Hope through Jedi and.
No question. I could put those on and be,
Yeah. But if I put the Force Awakens on, I'm just kind of like, I like a few songs. But
yeah, there might be tracks that you could skip. Yeah. That's not the case with any of the first three movies, 1977, 80, and 83. There's you're right. You can put those full scores on.
The prequel scores are good. Like,
they get flack, and I like them. In
yeah,
fact, I like the Phantom Menace score a
yeah,
huge
me
amount.
too. I like Anakin's theme because there's that little Vader motif.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
all of those themes in that movie. I know you were saying that you don't even like Duel of Fates. Is that because you've
It,
heard it so many
it's
times,
because
or
I've heard it so many
yeah,
times.
yeah, just
And
because that's like a mainstream kind of
it's
thing. I
like
mean,
every time there's a
mm.
lightsaber fight, like, oh,
dun
here
dun
we go.
dun
Yeah.
dun
Dun
dun dun
dun
dun
dun dun.
dun.
And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, all
I mean, I've
right.
been listening to that since '99, so 17
It
years
was
of that.
cool
But
like the first million times, like,
yeah.
I like that fight. Like the movie might be boring.
Oh yeah,
but
no.
that fight's awesome.
Yeah, of course it is. And if there's one thing to take out of the prequels that was a positive, it was definitely the scores. I think the score that you could say that episode 2 score is not that good, and then Across the Stars is a good theme. There's
Yeah.
other good themes in it. And
Let's get too diverted. We're gonna go into everything.
yeah, no, I would be here forever talking
Yeah.
about that. This now the score wasn't, I guess, amazing. There was nothing
I
really
didn't think
too
it was
standoutish.
bad.
No.
It took cues from some old Star
Light,
Wars
yeah,
songs.
gentle.
It could have been more.
Yeah,
Like,
he should have just did more. He only had 3 weeks to write it. Now,
Right.
and on the red carpet, he went on to almost use that as an excuse. Well, if you don't like it, I only had 3 weeks to do it. And he kind of mentioned it as if like I guess I could have did better if I had more time.
If you look at it that way, it is a good effort for 3 weeks. Certainly,
Definitely.
it's a good I mean, I heard a lot of things in there that I thought were going to go into Star Wars, like
Yeah. Throw in the old cues.
yeah, but it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, sometimes it did, most times it didn't. But it was like, okay, I can still deal with this because it still had the right, like, I don't know, it just
The John Williams-esque kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all you have to do. You just gotta emulate his style, but throw in your own stuff and.
It had that little bit of 70s, 80s cheese.
Sure.
like, to it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like too much. I don't know. I didn't really have a big problem with it. Just some things I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to get the soundtrack and listen to it. and
exactly.
how I feel
Because
about
the soundtrack kind of, I think, in the mix was maybe played down a little bit. Then
it. Maybe.
I
Mhm.
kind of felt like it was a bit in the background as opposed to every other Star Wars movie where it's very much in the forefront. Like we were saying last night, dun dun da da dun dun da da da. It's
Yeah.
right in your face.
you
really.
you know what's coming and like
Yeah,
just
it's
all dry, like comes together, drives you, makes you all excited.
exactly, and
I
it
mean,
drives the scenes and. In that
This movie was
sense.
definitely exciting. I mean,
Definitely,
the
yeah.
end was really exciting.
Yeah, and that's what you could say about this movie. That a lot of people, like I said, I was hearing reviews and it's like, well, maybe the second act lags, and I guess there are some scenes where there's no battling going on. That it's just this talky scenes. You got to move the plot along, so that happens. But it's the third act of this movie really, really delivers epically. It's a good 40 minutes of intenseness, and it culminates beautifully. And so every part of that was enjoyable. Now, in fact, as I went along the movie, like I'm kind of rating it in my head. I'm like, all right, it's pretty good. All right, I guess I'll be giving it. And then as it was, well, now it's good. So you get a great payoff in the end with everything that happens.
Who was your favorite character?
And that's maybe a problem, is that maybe the characters weren't fleshed out that much, because who is my favorite character in this movie?
Yeah,
Am I gonna
they
say
all had
Jin?
Personality.
Probably K2SO.
Krennic.
Krennic's good.
I
Krennic's
like
good.
Krennic because he was different than most Imperial officer guys that we see, at least in films and stuff.
Yeah.
Like he got.
Yeah, we'll leave it to the films, not like in the book Catalyst there was blah blah
I'm
blah
not
blah
gonna go
blah.
that crazy.
Yeah, we don't have to go to the
The most I'd say
Legends
is
or-
that like I know people were kind of like thinking he might be like Thrawn or whatever.
but he wasn't.
No,
Thrawn
not at all,
wasn't.
yeah.
No,
Thrawn was
it-
scarier than he was definitely.
yeah, and also didn't really use he got. Krennic gets angry a lot of times.
Oh yeah,
He raises his
that was
voice.
cool too. Like
Yeah.
he really lost his shit. Like
Yeah, he
Hux
lost his shit.
Lost his shit, but like
True.
I didn't feel threatened by Hux. He
No.
was like that nerdy guy. who
Yeah.
lost his school.
I'm angry at everyone. Yeah, Krennic was more like
Angry school teacher.
shit. Yeah, like really pissed off, especially when he's angering at Tarkin at all the other guys, and now that's a big spoiler. So
Yeah.
Tarkin, spoiler alert. Tarkin is in this movie, Grand Moff Tarkin, and what I mean by Tarkin is, I mean Peter Cushing is in this movie.
Yeah, Peter Cushing.
Peter Cushing himself. They resurrected his corpse. He's been gone for 22 years now, but they used the digital effect that they that they've been using. They used it in
It was
Civil
Guy
War.
Henry.
Guy
Guy Henry,
Henry, and then they
superimposed-
superimposed his face on it.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! So, do we also spoiler more characters that are in this movie? I'm sure everyone knows by now. Darth Vader is in the.
Well,
film.
I don't think that's a
Um,
spoiler because he was in the.
I just wanted to. I didn't want to tell you this earlier because I wanted to get your reaction while we were on here.
Mhm.
And my friend was saying about the superimposing thing. What if they showed him in the back to tank and they superimposed
Hayden
fucking
Christensen. Thought about that. I thought about that. Yeah. I'm happy they
would've
didn't
lost
show
it.
the face because they kind of show the head a little, the
Right.
side of his
That
head.
was cool. It's
Yeah,
kinda
yeah.
creepy.
It was creepy because it's kind of like it was crusty, kind of like scabbed up a
Yeah.
little like,
Mhm.
and But I was thinking that I was like, well, the shape of the head looks like how Sebastian Shaw's was, which is the actor that
Yeah, yeah.
go my son in
Yeah.
episode 6.
Leave me.
Leave me. Yeah, in Return of the Jedi. That was Sebastian. So it's the side of the face, and I was like, are they going to show this? And his face looked like Hayden Christensen. That came through to my head for a
I
second.
would have been so mad. But I
Um,
mean, the place it is in the timeline anyway, he would have been too old.
Yeah, right. Because this is really kind of almost 20 years
Mhm.
after he was looking like Hayden Christensen. So
Yeah.
he would look more like an older dude. Even though it's been 11 years since that movie.
Did you believe
Return of the Rangers.
Jin's journey, like her?
Her overall journey?
I did. Like
It's fine. I mean, because
We-
you don't see it in between. You see,
no,
she's
yeah.
she's a young girl, and now she's got to be put through stuff. And then, now she's
And
a
they
woman.
mention a few things.
and
that
they
she
mention-
did that make
yeah.
her hard.
Exactly, because she's obviously like a badass.
Yeah. I mean, I believed her. I like Felicity Jones.
which was
I thought
fine.
she-
I kind of just took it as it was. It's
You
like,
know,
well,
if
now
you think about it, though, they didn't really give her too much action. Besides the one scene in the the beginning when they go through Jeddah,
yeah.
and then at the end.
Uh,
But most of the time, she was just on the computer thing. no?
when she was trying to get the
Get the plans.
the plans. I felt like it was enough.
It was enough, but I'm just thinking about it, and it just seemed
Just
like
because you had a lot of characters in there, a lot of them were like, on the battlefield. You had Donnie Yen on the battlefield. You had
yeah, they were definitely more combat oriented.
yeah, you had the guy with the backpack gun. They were the ones like on the front line, on the planet Scarif. If anybody plays Battlefront, that's the new DLC. That's the tropical planet where the AT-AT walkers are. It's called Scarif. And so they're on like the front line on that planet, fighting with the Death Troopers and the Scout Troopers and the Storm Troopers and the AT-AT walkers. Now, what did you think of like the Scout Troopers and the Death Troopers?
The Death Troopers, I would have liked to hear a little bit of like why
Yeah.
he has these guys,
Yeah.
and cause they were clearly just Krennic's like little squad. Of
Yeah,
guys.
we'll take. I kind of just consider them. Well, I guess they're kind of just special forces, kind of
Right.
like
I mean,
premium stormtrooper.
yeah, and he just happened to use them as like I guess a guard detail. or
Yeah, they
whatever.
were like his whipping boys, kind of.
And they seem to be speaking some weird language.
Right. They weren't really speaking. They were.
Yeah, it would be like a strange, like it
Yeah.
definitely wasn't, all the
Yeah,
other
it wasn't
stormtroopers.
English or basic as I think they
Yeah.
call it. As the regular stormtroopers were doing a lot of that when you first see them. Hey,
Yeah.
what's going on here? Like just the
Did you
typical.
hear about the T-15?
Yeah, yeah. Some of the other guys were talking about them. Just
Yeah.
the regular generic English banter that you've gotten in the original movies.
They were cool though. They were definitely kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
They had like I don't know what kind of guns they had, but they were pretty cool. Like,
Yeah,
they
they
seemed
were more of a heavy duty artillery gun.
Yeah, not.
Speaking
not
of
anything- You knocked it over.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh, new Star Wars.
Yeah, it was definitely a heavy duty rifle of some kind.
Yeah.
That put people down real quick.
Yeah. They didn't have the typical
The scout troopers, did they really? I don't even remember what they did.
with
Like, I didn't see them
the
much.
shore troopers.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the shore troopers tossed a grenade or an imploder. I think.
Oh
that,
yeah, into the thing.
yeah into the thing and blew up the pilot dude, whatever his name was.
He was cool.
Yeah,
He
didn't.
was cool.
He didn't do much. What was his name again? I don't see him on the.
Bodie Rook.
Was that his? I think he's the actor from the movie Nightcrawler. Did you see the movie Nightcrawler?
Yeah,
Is that
I
him?
loved that movie. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that was
Nightcrawler.
him.
Yeah, I think that was him. Let's see. Let's look up Nightcrawler and see if he was.
I
I'm
need
pretty.
this to be more down here. There we go.
Yeah, just talk into it. Just talking to the mic. Maybe it's not the same actor. Maybe I'm just racist. But
Wow.
no. But Oh,
K2SO, best droid.
Yeah, K2SO was great.
I know everybody wants a BB-8, but I want a K2.
I wanted a K2SO. That was BB-8's the cutesy one. You have K2SO is more serious, but
he's like your bro. You hang out with him. Like
it's a full size bro, and then very much at least a little combat oriented.
He wanted to be at first, and they wouldn't give him a blaster.
They wouldn't give him a blaster,
and then he got one, and he was kicking ass.
Yeah, he was whooping stormtroopers'
Not
ass.
even looking.
Not even looking until he eventually met an untimely death, unfortunately. At the end.
Maybe we shouldn't say everything.
Oh, we don't want to make. Well, this is a spoiler review. If you're please just watch the movie first and then listen to this.
Yeah, if you're not gonna.
Yeah, because we've already mentioned. We've already went into spoiler territory at this point. Also, we've got. What should we delve on?
Man. There's so much. Like I don't even know.
I know.
Should we talk about Vader?
We could go. I mean, we could go into Vader.
Let's go. Let's talk about the story before we like.
Okay. All right. So the story is that they
Jin is Mads Mikkelsen plays Galen
Erso, Jin Erso's father, who is a developer of the super weapon, the Death Star.
Yeah,
How convenient.
he just kind of left for a while, and he was like, "Oh no, I can't. My brain's not what it used to be. I can't think up these things anymore."
Right,
and,
right.
Krennic was like, "Yeah, that's bullshit." Can I say that on here?
You sure could.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah. On this channel, you can.
Krennic was like, "That's bullshit. Come back.
Mm-hmm.
Go find his wife and daughter."
Right. This is the first scene of the movie.
Yeah, and we got a little Jin Erso.
Mm-hmm. Little baby Erso.
She witnesses her mother killed.
Mm-hmm.
Runs away to a secret little hideout they had for her.
Cave bunker.
And to wait for Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker comes in and talks like this.
Come with me, little girl.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh man, he was creepy. Like,
yeah,
I
creepy.
mean, he was supposed to be crazy, obviously.
Yeah, he's an extremist maniac.
Yeah, there was a lot of like painting the rebels as not just like these. No, heroes, they were like they were doing like
they had to do gritty shit,
terrorist like.
Yeah. Even Sean had mentioned he's like they're like the Taliban, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And they do some pretty like they do what they got to do, and even what's his name, Cassian says,
Yeah,
he's had to kill people.
Yeah,
and
he's got to
he
follow
murders
orders.
That one dude in the beginning, he shoots him in the back.
Yeah. He's got to shoot the dude.
And it's like,
yeah,
that's cool to show. Like, I always like that when they show that neither side is ever.
No, it's never 100%. Yeah,
like there's always things you have to do.
It's a war,
It's a war.
So they sometimes you got to do,
So I guess they take him back.
Mm-hmm.
They take Galen.
They
Erso
take Galen
back.
Erso to.
He finishes the Death Star or makes the Death Star.
Yeah,
but he built a flaw into the Death Star, which explains why there's this random vent that these torpedoes can hit.
Now, a lot of people were predicting that, and it didn't take a genius to kind of predict, well, they're probably going to, because if they need the plans to the Death Star, and they got, we already knew Mads Mikkelsen was going to be a developer on the Death Star, and he's kind of like a good guy being forced to build the Death Star. You kind of figure, well, he probably put in a weakness, and that kind of explains the plot hole of the thermal exhaust port that can blow up the whole friggin' planet.
Even though they didn't, I don't recall them saying that it was a thermal exhaust port.
No, but he says he explains that he put a weakness in that'll blow the whole thing up, and that's what Luke had to shoot down the shaft.
Yeah.
And I would assume that was the weakness that they were looking for. And, the plans, I guess, were so big that the Empire didn't know until the very last minute,
In a moment of triumph?
Exactly. We've analyzed their attack plan, sir, and there is a danger. Should I have your ship staying by?
No.
Evacuate?
I'm staying.
What are you, retarded?
Yeah. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Is you mad?
Exactly. But, so that kind of, they blended that in well, and then people were, well, if that's the way they're gonna do it, I think that's stupid. It's like, well, it makes sense, and it fits.
Would you
in
rather
with
have
the
the
movie.
plot hole?
Yeah. I mean, it gets rid of the plot hole of A New Hope when people are like, yeah, kind of presumptuous that of the whole Death Star that was perfectly built would have this little flaw that would destroy the whole thing. It's like, well, if it was purposely put there,
then that makes total sense.
that makes sense. Yeah. So so of course they did fit that in there, and that was fine.
I thought that scene could have been a little, like his whole thing on the message to Jin could have been a little shorter.
Yeah, that went on for a bit. You didn't need
But
all that.
I
Maybe 20 seconds
really
too long.
felt kind of sad when she started like losing it when he was like saying all the nice stuff to her.
Yeah.
And like
My Stardust.
I was like, and she was really crying. I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, Felicity Jones was shedding some tears
she's a
for.
cutie.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Oh
I was
yeah.
trying to
she's a
avoid
cutie.
that.
Nah, that's all right. Yeah, I know. A lot of people on the internet go, "Oh, well, she's my favorite now." Well, I still like Ray. Yeah.
I like Ray too, but
Mhm.
I think I like her because we got a lot from her. While we still have a lot to learn about Ray. I like Ray. I
they
just
they
wanna
held
know
back
more.
on. They obviously held back on Ray.
Yeah,
You got 2 more movies to flesh her out. With Jin, we only knew we were gonna get her in the one movie. We it was pretty clear that there wasn't gonna be a Rogue One 2. Yeah, they weren't gonna do that. And
Rogue One research.
yeah, Rogue One, refortification.
Yeah, ugh, I hate that crap.
Yeah, exactly. To slap a tagline on it and make another movie that we all have to watch, and it's usually schlock.
Blue Milk cameo.
Yeah. You see the fan service in this movie was
so much better.
than The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens was hammy with the fan
Tasteless,
service.
slap you in the face.
Slap
you
you in the
love this shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh look, there's the ball that Luke, trained with on the Millennium Falcon.
Chessboard.
There's the chessboard. Yeah, just tons of fan service in that movie.
Hokey religions, ancient weapons.
Ancient weapons. I've got a bad feeling about this.
I like how they did that.
They did
in
that.
this movie, and then
They
were just like, "Please,
Shut
like,
up."
yeah, shut up.
Yeah, the K2SO. They didn't let him finish it.
I like how
yeah.
they mocked like all those little things.
The little the little tropes that we're so used to in the Star Wars universe.
I don't want to say obscure characters, but characters like cameo. The one cameo that was, I think, probably the best fan service in there.
With Dr. Evazan and
Yeah.
Ponda Baba? Yeah.
Ponda Baba and
Dr. Evazan. Well, Dr. Evazan, if you don't know, is the guy from A New Hope that says to Luke in the cantina, "He doesn't like you. I don't like you either." So
you'll be dead.
You'll be dead. So they were both in there quick. I think that was the biggest chunk of fan service because he actually says the same thing he says. What he says, you better just watch yourself, or
she bumps into him and she's like, "You watch yourself."
Yeah.
And it works because she just bumped into him and something you would say.
Yeah.
You know?
So he says it, and I'm like, well, that's clearly Dr. Evazan. Not that you need to know his name. Just I think the because when they were figures in 1977, he might have had a different name, but they gave him the name Dr. Evazan, and then it was Walrus Man was Ponda. They turned him into Ponda Baba, the name. So those 2 characters are in there. I think that was the biggest hunk of fan service that we got. Aside from, was there other pieces of fan service?
Vader doing
the
anything?
Vader stuff. Well, that's what I'm saying. I was trying to avoid that.
Yeah, Vader doing anything.
Vader doing anything is considered fan service because every fanboy is like, but Vader's gonna be in this and he's gonna use his lightsaber. He's gotta kill Jedi if there are any left, etc., etc., etc. So, but they didn't do that. They didn't do exactly that.
Can I be a little graphic?
Go ahead.
When you're trying not to be aroused by something,
Mm-hmm.
that's how it is with Vader. It's like,
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh man.
It was. Oh, I better hold this down.
I don't want to be that guy, but I was just like,
Yeah.
Vader, like doing Vader stuff.
Vader's doing Vader
and
things.
it wasn't like,
Oh.
and it wasn't like something you'd get out of the. Where is Padme? No, like,
Where is Padme? Is she safe? Is she all right?
Oh God!
It seems, in George Lucas's anger, he ruined this dialogue. Oh, he couldn't have. He was alive.
But
No.
oh my God! I had never seen that in Jedi. That they added that in. I saw it recently because it was on TV.
On the
and I
with
was
the
like,
Blu-ray
"No!"
version. Yeah.
Like,
Because I have still yet to even buy the original Blu-rays. In fact, I have the despecialized editions. which are that's the ones I watch. I watch essentially the you have
Original.
they're the super originals,
Raw.
not even the special edition
Yeah.
ones, which I'm obviously well versed in the special edition ones. I have the DVDs. I've seen them a million times. But so I didn't buy the Blu-rays that did additional edits, including the no. And you're right. The only time I've heard and we're talking about the no that Vader does when the Emperor is electrocuting Luke.
Yeah.
And he does a
No.
no. Yeah, and
it
then
doesn't sound terrible. It just doesn't need to be
unnecessary.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just not needed. You don't need to slap more shit in there.
there. Yeah.
But you knew Vader was conflicted when he was looking at them both. Like when I first seen Return of the Jedi, I was probably about 6 years old, and when I seen Vader's helmet looking from side to side, that told me right away that he's conflicted and that he's
Yeah, I remember that feeling because you know what it is. Again, this is with knowing the soundtrack so well. I know that like when the way the music like rises.
Yeah.
And,
It's
everything builds in
crescendoing
that
and
part. Like I remember when I was a kid getting really excited because I was like, "Oh my
he's
God,
making
do
the
it!
choice.
Like,
Yeah,
do it! He's gonna do it."
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
He's looking to make that choice. He's not just standing there and staring. He's not, and the music is exactly not just staying still or it's
I
about
always loved when Palpatine fell down the shaft.
the shaft.
And you just hear the music go.
Yeah. The
When
male
it's, like, fading out.
Yeah.
Like, it's
when he
so
just turns
cool.
into a blue like blue energy
Yeah.
and yeah.
But yeah, Vader doing anything in the movie.
Oh,
Vader
yeah.
has jokes.
Now, you see, I had just watched Kevin Smith's reaction, and he kind of felt the same way that I did. That I felt like it was kind of a pun. I know you liked it when
It was a pun.
it was a pun, and I kind of felt like Vader doing puns. He might as well have just said, "Don't force me to."
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I felt when I first heard it, and I was like,
And you know
"Oh."
what made it even more like he knew he was making a joke? The fact that he stopped for a second
Yeah,
and then he
yeah,
looked
yeah.
over his shoulder
Yeah.
as he said it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't choke on your ambitions when
or
he's
something like
choking.
that.
That's what he said, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh
And
my God.
so
And
I think I'm okay with it now. I think I'll be fine when I watch it again. Because Vader has said stuff like
I kinda
that,
took it in
or
the
is
same vein.
arrogantly sarcastic a little.
Yeah, like I kind of took it in the same vein of I'm not obviously it wasn't a joke. Like I find your lack of faith disturbing, but just like that passive aggressive.
Yeah, passive aggressive.
Like
yeah, kind of.
little quip.
Yeah, it's a passive aggressive kind of
But
quip.
this was
But this was a
definitely more of, like,
pun.
I've been working on this.
Yeah, I've been waiting to use this
You know
one.
he, like, lines,
Because he didn't even really need to choke Krennic. Well, Krennic was getting a little arrogant with the.
Krennic, that's another thing. Krennic had balls.
Yeah, he's like, well, am I still director? And Vader had this, it's like, motherfucker.
Yeah, Vader stops in his tracks, and
Stops
you just
his
like.
tracks.
I remember looking over at Phil and going, "Oh no." Yeah,
You hear the rumble.
Force rumble. Yeah. Oh no.
So you know Krennic's about to get choked out, and then Vader turns around sideways with his hand kind of like,
in the death metal claw.
in the death metal claw, ready to gut him like a fish.
Yeah.
And so it was cool. When I heard the choke on the image, like, oh, it was a bit much, but I'm all right with it now. I do want to see it again and see how I feel.
And
Don't
then
show-
let's get back? Should we get back to the story? We'll talk about the last.
Yeah, we'll talk.
later.
We'll leave that for the very end because I'm going to talk about that for a few minutes.
So Death Star. He built the thing.
Yeah, they built the big Death Star. It's all built.
It makes a big laser and everyone dies.
Yeah. So that's another thing. Now, they incorporated the idea of kyber crystals into the movie now itself. Now, I know that not only in Legends it's been big, and in the current new canon, the new canon that Disney's come out with all the new books. So the kyber crystals that power lightsabers have been canon, but never have they officially been talked about in a movie in the Star Wars world. Now they have, and it is a fact that the lightsaber crystal is the same crystal that powers the Death Star.
Which
vice
makes
versa.
sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it focuses the beam.
Focus a big laser beam,
Mhm.
kind of thing. So, and the lightsaber is a laser sword, so makes sense. And so they were mining the crystals on that island of, or that planet of, that was Jeddah. They were mining the crystals on.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know, I just imagined like. It was like, what planet? And I was just thinking Jeddah, but I just imagined the Emperor saying, because he'd be like, Jeddah.
Yes, go get the crystals on the planet of Jeddah. Good. Get me more crystals. Good.
I just like rocks.
Yeah, I just think they're neat.
And then so they had a little that was what that was. They had like a bit of a convoy guarding the crystals going through the the town when when the beef broke out on
They
Jeddah.
pretty much destroyed the planet. Like,
Well, but before that happened,
well, I meant like they pretty much didn't they just take everything from the planet, all the kyber crystal?
I guess they just seized it, and then they used was that the first planet that they shot the laser on then that
Yeah,
star
they tested the Death Star on
laser.
it, and they were like, "Oh, well, we just have to prove it works."
Yeah, they just localized it. They didn't blow up the whole
Single
planet.
reactor charge is what they said, or something
Yeah,
like
like
that.
a simple.
It was like by no means I mean, yeah, it didn't destroy the planet, but it created like an insane explosion that even went into space.
Yeah, it was
And
almost like a comet hitting
like a
the Earth.
planet buster.
Yeah,
it's a planet buster.
Planet Buster,
type
atomic
of thing.
bomb. Yeah.
And it was really cool, like just like the explosion, like going into space and everything being that big, and
right.
Tarkin being like, "Yeah, it works. Okay, great."
Yeah, and the funny, they worded everything very much correctly because in A New Hope, Tarkin says, "I think it is time we test the full firepower of the station." So like the full firepower can destroy
Right.
the whole planet. They didn't use the full firepower in this movie.
No, not
The
once,
first-
which was good actually.
Which
now
is
that I think
good.
about it.
No, because if they blew up the whole planet, there was like, well, wasn't the first planet they used it on Alderaan?
Mhm.
Well, Alderaan was the first planet they completely blew up with it. In this movie, they test the laser just blowing up localized areas of planets. In other words, they blew up cities, full cities. They localized the beam and and caused just as much fucking damage anyway. Just not
Yeah,
destroying
it's
the
not
entire
like
planet.
it was anything like to
Yeah.
be like, it wasn't so bad.
Yeah, it was eviscerating like thousands of miles anyway. So
Yeah, completely destroying like
Yeah.
like a quarter of a planet.
and then they use it twice, right? They use it on Jeddah and then Scarif.
yeah.
Yeah,
mhm.
Scarif is the what's it called planet?
It was interesting how they did that too, because it went through the building,
Mm-hmm.
but only the top of it, and then it hit another area.
Right.
And that was like because they were just trying to stop the transmission.
Yeah,
right?
they just wanted to stop. To just
because they didn't
shoot
want to
it.
blow up the base.
No.
'cause They needed a fucking Death Star laser for that, apparently.
yeah.
Maybe when we see it again, maybe there's something we missed there.
Yeah,
but,
no, definitely. There's
but
gonna be
I
a lot of little
recall being
stuff.
like, they just destroyed the top of the building,
right.
and it went off to the anyway.
Yeah.
So
Very cool though. Very good use of that. So everything was really well thought out and tastefully done in that sense.
yeah, everything
Uh,
was developed well. It took
mhm.
its time. It wasn't too long. the
Definitely
movie,
took
right?
its
It was
time.
2
The movie
hours.
itself.
How long was it? 2 hours or
Check
15 maybe?
Well, it's definitely over 2 hours. Let's check the running time of this. It's probably
I am on the Wikipedia.
2:18.
I can check that probably. Good. 133 minutes.
Okay, so yeah, 2
yeah.
2 hours 13 minutes. Yeah, so
Right.
that's maybe a little shorter than the originals because I think A New Hope runtime is maybe 2:18 2:20.
Did you really were you annoyed at the whole scene where they were like
2 hours.
they-
Oh no! It's
after they
actually less.
tested the Death Star, they go back and they're like, "Here's what happened. I got this message from my father, but oh crap, it got destroyed and all the thing." And they're like, "We don't believe you."
Oh.
And they're like, and then I mean, some of them did believe her, but they were too afraid to go up against the Empire. I was like, then what was the point of this? Like all this, but I mean, even though they go do it anyway, and then they go to help and whatever, but I kind of felt like, why are you guys wussing out now?
Yeah, well, you talk about when the transmission from Galen Erso to her she was the only one that saw it, and then it got blown up.
Yeah, and then they go back to the to Yavin 4,
right.
and they're talking about it around like with the council,
Mhm.
and Mon Mothma was like, "I'm sorry,
Yeah.
if the council will not agree, then blah blah blah." You know. And then
Well, I guess there was just too much of a risk to run without definitive evidence.
I guess.
And then you hear that guy in the background. What is she proposing?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
that
funny.
guy's moment to shine.
Yeah, yeah. And there was also not an Admiral Akbar. It was Admiral something else. That wasn't Admiral Akbar, by the way.
No, it wasn't. I didn't.
He's-
I was sitting there and I was like, "That's a different squid."
Right. He didn't look like Admiral Akbar.
No,
It-
he was
in
he
Squid.
was like a dark.
Yeah, it was like a bluer,
Yeah.
a little more blue. And I was like, is that Akbar? Are they doing it? I was like, that's not
But he
Akbar.
still sounded like
They
this.
still sounded like a trap.
Yeah.
Although, of course, luckily that line was not said. I would have been
Yeah.
actually
Oh,
really
it was
pissed
it
off.
was so good they did none of that. I was
None of
just
that.
Guess what it is?
like, oh,
It's
it's
a trap.
No. Yeah.
Although they instead of that they had I don't even know their names from the old movies. The original like Red whatever, like I don't know what call sign he had.
Who?
when they were in the space battle at the end, and the superimposed dudes from A New Hope.
Oh, yeah. So now they put in a few of the guys from A New Hope, and now just impacted on the surface. Was that Gold Leader? I think it might have been.
Maybe Red 5 and like
Yeah, well, Red 5 got blowed up.
yeah,
Everybody
he did,
got
'cause
blowed
he
up.
called it out. He was like Red 5. Where you going, Red 5? But they
Yeah.
made them say new things, or was that scenes maybe they never used and then they fixed them up? Because some of the things he
no,
said
it would have
not-
been digital more than anything. It would have been digital. It would have been it wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been them like unused footage or whatever, it wouldn't have been like that.
Yeah.
You keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been. I don't think it was unused footage. I think that they blended some of the footage that they had in that movie, from A New Hope, but then also used maybe some of the digital effect, the same stuff that they used for Tarkin, to maybe get them to maybe make some different motions or whatever, kind of like that. But I don't think any of it was like unreleased footage of them, from 1977.
Yeah, I thought that might have been a thing, but I just they probably just put together some. However, they did all the other things that they did in that movie that were that were actually pretty impressive. Like,
yeah.
I thought they could have been handled much worse than that.
Yeah, no, for sure. It wasn't like distastefully done or anything like that. But so that was good. I mean, in fact, that I felt like got even a bigger cheer than some of the other kind of things.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
It was a good idea because they would be there.
Mm-hmm.
It made sense.
Yeah, and it was a good way to, blend it into, A New Hope, because you're really getting down to the wire, that pretty much at the end of Rogue One is the beginning of A New Hope,
Yeah.
So that those two movies blend, like, in fact, that'll be really cool to do, to watch Rogue One and then watch New Hope right afterwards. Yeah, and see how well that should seamlessly blend in, because I think at this point that it really should blend seamlessly.
So they go back and then they're like, oh no, we can't do this now, and then like a small group breaks off and they're like, we have to do this and whatever, and there's a bunch of guys that volunteer with what's his name, I can't think.
With Donnie Yen or
no with Cassian.
Oh yeah, Captain Cassian.
And he has his little group of his band of guys that want to do this mission and get the plans, the Death Star plans from. It's on Scarif, and there's a shield generator thing.
Yeah.
That is really impenetrable as usual.
Of course.
And there's only one way in, and they have to actually transmit the plans out, not just steal them and get them out.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And even that was said in A New Hope. Several transmissions will beam to the shit by rebel spies.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so he does say that.
So they go down to the planet. They get through with pretty much. I hope that code is worth the price we paid type of situation.
Yeah, exactly. So and they stole. Was it an Imperial shuttle or was it just
I think it was. I don't know if it was Imperial, but it was definitely some kind of. Yeah, it had to be because they had it registered with them.
Yeah. It was like,
it
where's
was
the
like a
manifest?
freighter.
He was like, oh, you need the manifest.
And then they need the. They said the code was old, and they would only know if they had registered it as had not shown up for a while or something like that.
Right.
But the code worked.
Oh yeah,
it's an older code, sir.
It's an older code, sir, but it checks out. And then so then they got down. They got down at Scarif, and
they do their little mission, which was pretty cool, guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, definitely, very much so. Guerrilla warfare-ish and outnumbered by all the.
It was better than Endor, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, with teddy bears fighting, throwing rocks.
Of Endor.
Yeah, no, this was obviously that part is very much a war movie-esque, and it was cool that it was on.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, and now this is everybody's known that this Scarif was going to be like a tropical planet. What did you think about that Scarif as a planet?
I thought it was cool. It was a new look for
Yeah.
Star Wars world.
Yeah,
but it still seemed like a Star Wars planet. It was not like
not like they just went to and
a lowland Star Wars.
Yeah, they didn't go to Antigua or something.
Yeah.
And just like, oh,
It looked like a Star Wars
Yeah,
planet.
they
I mean,
made it look good.
although I don't recall there being any like alien life around. Well, no, it was an occupied base area. They probably
Yeah.
killed it all.
Well, that was another thing I was thinking. I felt like maybe there wasn't enough kind of like it was mostly people.
Humanoid.
Yeah. I didn't. I kind of like. I mean, there are like.
Saw
aliens
Gerrera
in
had that one guy that I would have liked to know more about.
Yeah, there was he had with the alien face guy that was
Yeah,
kinda,
half his head was like
yeah.
kind of fleshy, and the rest was mechanical, maybe. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I couldn't tell if it was a mask or
I think
it
was
seemed like.
because I think he was a similar head to one of the
Yeah,
cantina
Cantina guys. I
guys.
don't know.
kind of like I have a figure here. Where is he? He looked like one of these guys. Oh, that character kind of reminded me of this
Who's
guy
this
right
guy?
here. He's a cantina guy.
Kinda.
A little
I
different,
think
I
I know
guess.
who you're talking about, though. It's not this guy.
Oh, it's not somebody
No.
else.
I think I definitely know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but yeah, he kind of looks similar to that figure. But but that's what's cool because it's good that you're looking at those guys and they're kind of reminding you of the 1977 puppets.
So they get to the planet. They make a big commotion so that all the stormtroopers are away from Jin and Cassian. Cassian? What was his name? I keep
Yeah,
forgetting.
Captain Cassian.
Cassian Andor.
Yeah, Captain
Um,
Cassian.
So, the only scene we didn't talk about was when what's his name died, Mads Mikkelsen. But
Yeah, well, they all right. So, because that's the middle planet thing. Because they go to a
Yeah,
few
that's the
planets
Act
in this
2.
movie.
That's the Act 2.
Yeah, they go
would say.
in, and they so they go to that planet because they're going to what was the purpose to get Galen Arso at that point?
they were gonna go get him, but Cassian was gonna kill him.
Yeah, Cassian was just gonna kill him just to get rid of him.
Um,
What would that have done though? I kind of felt like, well, what is that gonna do?
Because they didn't believe that he was on their
a
side.
good guy. Yeah, they just. But the thing was built already. What was it gonna do?
I have just to revenge.
Really?
Revenge. Yeah.
I didn't. I felt. I see that I wasn't really
I think
getting.
it was more of a Cassian thing.
Oh, really? Personal
It seems like
business?
he was pretty angry.
But he did say like, I have orders to
Right.
do. So.
It was that one guy though. I can't remember his name, but it was one of the. It wasn't Mon Mothma or anything.
No. Oh, it was that white guy,
Yeah,
That-
that especially white
the
fella.
especially white rebel leader guy that was on the base most of the
Yeah,
time.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know what his name was, but okay, sorry, we'll go with that. But even then, it's like I you had worser guys there. You had kind of like
Krennic.
you had Krennic there. You could have
Yeah.
just killed Krennic. Wouldn't that have been
Yeah,
more
why?
important?
I would have looked at. This guy's wearing a white suit and has a cape, man. I
Right,
better shoot this guy.
he seems more important to the Imperial
He's got these black
situation.
stormtroopers
Yeah,
around him and crap.
Yeah,
like,
he looks pretty important.
I better shoot this
Better
guy in
shoot
the
him.
face.
Yeah.
He had the opportunity to. He could have gotten away with it,
Yeah.
and they could have gotten away too.
Could have shot a few of them. And then
Yeah.
let me shoot these important
It was
Imperial guys.
raining.
Yeah. Nobody would have found you. Then you. Oh, well, they did need to steal a freighter because their ship got shot down, right, or whatever.
It did.
Yeah, but that part I kind of was like, well, what's the purpose? I don't know.
It
But
was so Jin could see her father one last time, and so she could cry.
yeah,
And-
in we're doing the business of the plot, I guess. It's the
Yeah,
easiest
it was a
answer.
writing thing.
Or just fit that
It
in
needed
there.
to be there so
Yeah.
she could be
Jin
like,
needs
I
to
must
get one
revenge
last-
for her
yeah.
father- for my father.
And maybe feel more like
Justified in her
ex-
actions.
Exactly, to kind
Um,
of give it a little more emotional lift
But yeah,
there.
that was the act 2, and then we're on the planet in Scarif, and we're doing our little guerrilla operation thing, and
Mm-hmm.
distracting the stormtroopers, and then they somehow get they get the transmission out back to Rogue.
right before, right, but yes, he
Rebel base.
Rogue One, which gets the transmission back to Rebel base to tell them hold off, or no, they got to break the shield so we can get the plans out.
Wait, how did they? I don't remember. I hate that I can't remember this. There was a reason that the fleet even showed up.
Were they gonna go to wreck the base, or was it because?
I guess it was because they just found out what was going on.
Yeah, I don't
and
remember.
then they were just like, go, like, just send. Send
and they
a
sent the
bunch
whole
of-
fucking fleet. Yeah,
Yeah, which was cool because
Yeah.
they all just popped in
Yeah,
light
yeah,
speed
yeah.
and they were just
Yeah.
like, yeah, let's do it.
very much. The whole crew kind of like in Return of the Jedi. against the second Death Star.
Except they were a little more gung ho. Like you could tell they were a little more in their youth. And
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna go in, and I guess they didn't have to fear a Death Star. There was no. Wait, no, there was a Death Star there. But
not yet.
Not yet. It
Yeah.
came in on light speed. See now, and that's also another thing that kind of has been speculated. Well, how could the Death Star move and shoot at planet to planet? Because like it shot at Alderaan, and then Yavin 4 is like Dantooine is too far to make a defective demonstration, and then they got close enough to blow up Yavin 4 in A New Hope. It's like, well, how's it shooting across the galaxy like that? But it is now a fact that in the movies that the
Didn't
Death
it
Star
have light speed and
in New Hope
something? I don't know. I feel like
they didn't mention it though. It just says we are entering the Alderaan. We're all entering the Yavin system now or the Alderaan system now when it got close enough to shoot it.
Yeah.
I
remember that from a lot from
Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
Definitely, of course. Yeah.
That was Hoth-based stuff, right?
Was it Hoth?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, was it? I thought that, but I thought they used it on the
They used it on
Imperial
2
Freighter
stages.
Suproso.
2 stages, I think. Had
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Anyway.
was it? I
Yeah.
mean, those cartridges were small. They might have to
Man.
reuse some music.
Man, I'm gonna play that.
That's a great game. I love that game.
But yeah, they for what? Oh yeah, the fleet shows up because they're like, oh man, they did this thing and they discovered that everybody wasn't there,
Sure.
and they were like, all right, send to wherever they went. Scarif.
Okay.
Some
We'll
of
go with that.
Some of the ships got through the shield, if I recall. On the planet, they were flying around fighting a few TIE fighters.
Once they broke through it, because what happened was they broke down
No,
one.
a few got through. Remember, because they were like, pull up, and then like some got through first, and then they closed it.
Oh yeah.
And then some of them did get in there, so they were fighting a few TIE fighters. There were a few TIE things that I
TIE
did not-
Strikers.
TIE Strikers.
They're called the TIE Striker. Yeah, that's
that
the new.
new?
Yeah,
Okay.
new for this movie.
It was
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, they're in the Battlefront game too. They kind of they do bombings. It's like TIE Striker bombing warning.
But they're not TIE bombers.
They're not TIE bombers. They're TIE Strikers. They're a little different. But cool nonetheless. They didn't really get too much time.
Right.
They didn't really get too much.
No.
The U-wing got time. That was the ship that
U-wing.
that was the ship they were flying most of the movie when they're going back and forth. That was the main ship that they were using.
Really? Oh,
yeah,
it was
it's
a
called the
U-wing.
U-wing.
Oh, okay.
It's got kind of like like a fork kind of and
Yeah, and it opens up.
Yeah, that's the U-wing.
So I miss B-wings.
You miss B-wings?
Yeah, I don't
in
see
general.
them.
I know.
I like B-wings. I used to use them in
Well, B-wing's the one that
Squadron
looks like a T,
Cross,
right?
yeah, kinda.
Why did they call it a B-wing?
I think it was
Shouldn't
because the one side had like the short wing, so it almost looked like
Yeah?
a B.
Looked
with,
more like a T to me.
Yeah, me too.
You just
But-
said it looked like a cross.
Yeah, it does.
I know.
but,
The A-wings look like A's. That's
yeah,
fine.
The Y-wings look like Y's.
Yeah, Y-wings look like
X-wings
Y's.
look like X.
X-wings look like X's.
B-wing?
B-wing? They should have just called it a fucking T-wing. I never really
Yeah.
got that, but that's fine.
But yeah, I missed
I
it.
always
Anyway.
liked those. I liked all of that. I think the probably the B-wings and the X-wings are probably my favorite of those.
Yeah.
The U-wing was cool though too. Thought that was a cool ship. They're gonna make it Z-wing soon.
Yeah. Space Battle was awesome.
The space battling was awesome. It all looked really great.
Should I dare say best space battle in all Star Wars movies?
It's possible. I mean, it goes
the
on
Jedi
for a while.
one's good,
I like
but
the Jedi
this one was really good.
This one was really
Like,
good.
I felt like these X-wing pilots were like there to take some asses.
Yeah,
like they were like wrecking some.
They were.
shield
And-
generators on Death Stars.
Yeah.
and, like-
shield, on the Star Destroyers, they were blowing down the shield generator.
When
They,
it- that
they
one-
knocked down. This is
that
the first
one
time you
ship-
knocked down 2 Star Destroyer, and
Yeah,
where you pushed one
the
into another.
they disabled with ion cannons.
Yeah.
Or ion bombs,
Yeah.
was it? Which is cool. I love ion weapons. I always
Yeah.
think that's really cool.
Stand by, ion weapon control.
Ion control.
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
these
it's good
people are
stuff.
gonna hate us.
Damn.
Um,
what the hell are they even doing?
Yeah. And then they ram a ship into a groove in the structure in the hull of the one disabled Star Destroyer. Excuse me, I said Death Star.
Right.
Star Destroyer,
Mhm.
and they push it into the other Star Destroyer, which was awesome.
Oh yeah. They
And
had they pushed it to
crush the shield thing because they couldn't get through
they
it.
couldn't.
So they
Yeah,
had
they couldn't
to
break
put
through it. It's
something
like,
huge through it.
yeah, so we gotta force these Star Destroyers to just smash through it.
Which was friggin' awesome.
Yeah,
Now that I think
so
about it.
they smashed 2 Star Destroyers together, and then when they
into the planet
into
shield
the
generator.
planet shield, it broke down the shield generator thing.
Or shield whatever generator. Was it a generator? I guess it was like a floating generator.
Yeah, it was like a hovering.
It orbited the planet.
It orbited the planet. It looked like the Trade Federation.
You know what it looked
ships.
like?
What it looked like?
It had the doorway from Spaceballs.
Yeah, yeah. It had the doorway from Spaceballs. I thought of that. You know what? Because they have that in Battlefront, the new DLC for Rogue One, and that's in the space level. And that's when I thought about it. And I was like, is this in the movie? I was like, they get this from Spaceballs? So I'd already thought about that already,
Right.
like last week.
So when
I seen it, I was like, oh, it's actually in the movie. Yeah. And I didn't get to think about the Spaceballs shield. Suck.
So good.
Yeah.
There's a cool little one thing about this that made me love Krennic was at the end when he realizes they're gonna go get the plans. He goes there himself with a detail of his dudes, and he takes a blaster, an Imperial officer taking a blaster, getting off his ass and doing something.
Yeah, an actual Imperial officer
went after them.
Yeah, getting physical with it. And
and he has a little fight with Jyn and kind of shootout with Jyn and
Cassian. Yeah. No, Cassian shoots him, so
I mean, he doesn't kill him.
No, but
something else does.
He leaves him there to rot. You know, Cassian shoots him in the shoulder.
So it was pretty tense. They get the plans, and the whole thing with K2 was sad. I don't want to spoil everything. I think they should see it and like enjoy it.
This is a spoiler review at this point.
I don't want to say detail for detail, like what happens.
Okay.
You know, I'll say K2 has like a little standoff and holds the stormtroopers off while they look for the plans or whatever, and he bites it. But I don't want to explain everything because I think it's really cool, like some of the stuff he does.
Oh yeah, no.
But so they do get the plans, and they.
It was actually sad when he was dying.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah.
And he transmit the things, and yay, save the day, and except the Death Star shows up.
Right.
And then the Death Star shows up, and it's a really cool shot with it right over the horizon. And it looks really awesome.
Yeah.
And they do another single reactor blast.
Yeah, they do the single reactor localized blast because they hear that the plans might be getting off that planet.
So they shoot it at the top of the building. And they take off the top of the building, and they just destroy whatever the hell is in the distance with that and they don't give a shit. But the explosion gets there anyway.
It does. It's a big explosion.
Yeah, and many people are killed.
Yeah, many people died to bring them that information.
Not Bothans.
Not Bothans. That's from Return of the Jedi.
That's a different movie.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll probably be the next spin-off.
Right, yeah. But then something magical happens. The plans get transmitted to a ship in orbit. And then Darth Vader shows up because before, at some point in the movie, they're like, alert Lord Vader that, this thing is happening on the planet. He shows up.
Vader shows up.
And he pops up on this ship that is actually a disabled ship.
Yes.
And he walks into this ship, and he has, it's in the dark, and he has this moment where the lightsaber lights up. And
he's now he's in the darkness, but you hear the so he's there, and you have and that scene right there is a slasher scene out of a horror movie.
The whole scene, we were just talking about this before, it essentially becomes a horror movie for a second.
Yeah, it does.
Where it's this one guy that has the plans, and a bunch of these soldiers are trying to get off the ship, and the door won't
open the full way.
There's a crack in it.
Yeah,
and the most you can do is stick your arm through.
Yeah, so he's giving them the physical plans. Take it.
And Vader's marching down this hall and murdering.
Yeah, and they're just
force choking, throwing people, hacking them with the lightsaber, and he's blocking so many shots. And I think the best thing about it was, like you said, while it was flowy and had that fluidity that you would see in the prequels, it wasn't super fast and it was clunky like Vader.
Vader should be clunky in the same way how he fought in all the other movies, and he's
Right.
big and lumbering, but
clearly it was still effortless.
yeah,
He
didn't
made the
require
use
no
of what
effort.
mobility he had. It
Yeah.
wasn't like him going. He wasn't flipping around and
No, he was not bouncing off the walls like Yoda or doing side flips like Darth Maul or anything like that.
Or
Yeah,
like Darth Sidious.
yeah, Sidious.
Are you threatening me, Master Rapist? Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh God.
Yeah.
And it's awesome because like you really like know you feel like these guys are so powerless to do anything.
Yeah,
they're so screwed.
and they're trapped in that hallway, a little corridor. Ah! And they're all like screaming. It's like a slasher scene, and he's just fucking Jason.
He's like, yeah, exactly. That's what I was just thinking. He's like Jason, and
Yeah.
he's just walking through and
Walking slow and
like
just-
he force throws some guy to the ceiling,
Yeah.
and then drops him, and as
Drops
he's coming
him,
down, I'm pretty sure
guts
he
him,
swings him
probably.
hits him with the lightsaber.
He lifts another one and chokes him, and then tosses him to the side.
He blocks an energy bolt, and I'm pretty sure
blocks
he
a bolt.
reflected it back at them too.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he did a lot.
Yeah,
of
he
really
blocks
crazy
the
shit.
the laser blast with his hand in the same way he did against Han.
And then the guy gets his arm through and he passes the plans, and you figure, all right, the plans got through. And then the lightsaber comes through the door, and like, and it's like, oh my God. And the plans get taken on to that Corellian.
The
is it
Corellian,
Yeah, it's Corellian.
Tantive 4, the Corellian
Yeah.
Corvette. Yeah.
And it gets taken onto that, and they they get off. What's the term I'm looking for? Disembark.
Yeah, they
Whatever
disengage
Gauge from the
disenta-
dock
dis-
on that ship.
yeah,
and
disattach from
it
it.
takes off,
It takes
and
off.
Vader's standing.
Yeah, like practically in space almost.
Yeah,
Almost, right? Because it's
he
like
might
an
as-
empty hole there.
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, there was probably atmosphere in the ship, but he could survive regardless.
With
It
that,
didn't
he's got
matter
the
for
full
him.
suit on. But
Yeah.
actually, yeah, because like the science. I know it's Star Wars. It's not science fiction. So I was kind of like, he would probably get sucked out of the vacuum of space if that really happened.
Yeah,
but,
probably.
But it's all right.
But I mean, if it was a dock and it was already decompressed,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
would freeze though. I don't know. Whatever.
We'll go ahead and say
Atmosphere
his
in the ship still.
Yeah, atmosphere in
Um,
the ship, and he's fully suited. That's like a space suit.
So
you know?
it was just cool because his cape is kind of like blowing.
Yeah, kind of blowing.
And he's like standing at the edge there, looking at the ship get away. He has the lightsaber.
Yeah.
And oh man, it looked really cool.
Yeah,
And
it
he has
was
some stormtroopers behind him.
Yeah, there's a couple of troops behind him, 4 of them. Yeah,
And then they show the ship.
and then the
And the
Tantive 4.
plans get taken across the ship,
Yep.
and they're handed to a woman in white.
Oh, a
And she
princess
turns
in white.
around, and it's Princess CG Leia.
It's CG Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, and
Imagine they just had Carrie Fisher, current Carrie Fisher, do the.
thanks for the plan.
Thanks for the plans. You got any blow?
Oh man, I like Carrie Fisher. Let's
I
not
do.
make fun of her. She got through mental illness and drug addiction.
She did.
So
She
let's-
did. 20
the
years
Force
of that.
was with her.
Oh, she's probably there was that article. There was a video. I think it was in the Post of her picking up blow in L.A. like
Oh,
like
God.
last year. Yeah. And
Whatever.
they have like a video of her doing it. Because she picks it up from this like known drug dealer's house in
Using
L.A.
the Force.
Yes, and then she drives off, and then at a stoplight, she's bending down. She keeps going, like her head keeps going down. It's like, oh, she's obviously sniffing this blow that she just picked up. But probably does it a little less frequently than she did in the '80s. But yeah, but yeah, CG Carrie Fisher.
I don't think she looked as good as Tarkin did.
No, she didn't. Because you know what? When she looked up or whatever, I seen. I was like, that's not Carrie Fisher behind that CG face.
But
you
it
know?
wasn't. What's his name behind it either? It just. I think he just.
But
looked
that
good.
looked better.
Yeah, but you know what it was too? I feel like in her scene, they had to work with the white ship and the really bright lighting,
bright,
as where
very
Tarkin
bright.
was on these dark
And shadowed. Yeah.
right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
I
they
thought
could
about
use the
that.
lighting and all that.
Absolutely. Yeah. No.
Um,
Because in fact, when she looks up right away, you have that what's the term for the canyon of? No, it's not the. There's a term for it.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name.
Forget the name of it. Forget the friggin' name, but there's a uncanny valley. Is it the uncanny valley? I think.
Google should have all your answers.
Yeah, the uncanny valley. Used in a reference to phenomenon whereby a computer-generated figure, a humanoid robot bearing a near-identical resemblance to a human being, arouses a sense of unease or revulsion in the person viewing it. So it's that you're feeling that uncanny valley where you're looking at it and you're like, you kind of know. It's really difficult to get that way because the human eye can detect fakeness really well.
It's very hard for CG to be so good where it's like, this is perfect, and you don't even notice.
Yeah, especially when the mouth is moving. Like, when you just look at Tarkin, it's like, that looks like that's Peter Cushing's face. I mean,
but then the mouth starts moving, and you're like, and you see it a little bit, but it doesn't. It's not on. It's not. I didn't think it was bad. People are gonna look at it and be like, "This is stupid. Like, it looks bad." And it's like, no, it doesn't look bad.
There was one
impossible.
Maybe even 50 years from now, you still might not be able to perfect that, just because the human eye just knows.
Yeah,
it knows it's not a real person. And even in the when we were in the theater at the end, there was one guy who said they should have just got him from behind or whatever. Didn't he say that? Did he say that about
but
Leia?
That would have been dumb.
Did he say that about Leia or Tarkin?
Leia, it would have worked. I think real quick, Leia's scene, because it was short. But Tarkin, no. He was in the movie too much.
He's a character in the movies, not just a cameo. She had a cameo.
What a shitbag, too.
Who
Tarkin.
Tarkin, he screwed Krennic.
Yeah, like, so bad.
Yeah.
And Krennic, like, I not that I'd say I sympathize with him, because he was a piece of shit too.
He was a piece of shit, but he definitely got his ass drilled by Tarkin a bit. And that's why he was so pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Almost pissed off to the point it looked like he was gonna look to fist fight him in that room.
Oh yeah, I was like,
this bullshit.
Yeah, he like actually yelled at him.
Yeah,
too.
he yelled at
like,
Tarkin. Yeah,
because Tarkin's a higher rank than him. Well,
definitely.
But like, he didn't really seem afraid of him.
No.
He was definitely afraid of Vader.
Yeah, well, everyone's afraid of it. Yeah, you going talking to Vader, choking up. But even he's a loud. I guess Krennic's just like a loudmouth. Like, ooh, I still got my position, right?
Yeah. You know what? I was thinking today. Like, since Vader was kind of like pushed into being Darth Vader, and because he's in the suit and he knows by that point that he is kind of in the Emperor's grasp and there's nothing he can like really do to escape it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously he was still along for the ride because he was like, oh man, I was tricked, but this is my way to keep my empire.
My new empire. Yeah, well, at that point, I mean, there was no going back, and
I think he really thought he was keeping the quote-unquote peace.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he was for the empire. Well, my loyalties lied to the Senate and to the Republic, which became the empire, so now his loyalties lied with the empire.
So I always thought, though, that like the way everything happened, though, he kind of like resented it, and he kind of hated the emperor because the suit was not top notch. It could have been better. And
he clearly sitting in that back the tank, he wasn't feeling 100%.
Yeah, so you think he harbored some resentful feelings, and that's why he didn't really give a shit about killing Imperial officers?
He was definitely pissed, and didn't really. He definitely paid no respect to any of those fucking guys except for Tarkin. Clearly,
Tarkin had a job to do, and he was under orders like from the Emperor because he knew if he killed Tarkin or something, Emperor would be like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Yeah, enough of this. Vader, release him. Yeah, the other guys were expendable as far as Vader's concerned, especially when they were incompetent, like in The Empire Strikes Back. Like he was just like, "This fucking guy's an idiot. I'm getting rid of them."
Dropping admirals.
Admiral Mahdi, not Admiral Mahdi. Admiral Ozzel came in too close to the system. He's as clumsy as he is stupid.
That's Empire though.
No, I know.
That's where we started killing guys, right?
Yeah, that's where he started. Because at that point, he was pretty much second in command to the Emperor because there was no Grand Moff Tarkin anymore. Even if I don't know who, I kind of feel like Grand Moff Tarkin was maybe a higher rank.
Yeah, Vader was giving orders on ships at that point, and then in the first movie, he really, he was
more like the guy coming in and whooping ass, coming in, banging heads.
The loan shark guy.
Yeah, he was coming in, and making that the Empire meant business. He wasn't,
but he did tear the ship apart.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. I mean.
But he had his own squad. Yeah. Like and it wasn't a huge squad. He didn't have his own.
Leave that to me.
Yeah. But like, leave that to me.
Yeah. So it was different in Empire where he didn't need to maybe
Vader Unleashed.
Yeah. I mean, when more like when the other guard his guys were fucking up, he would just say, "I'm sick of you," and kill them. Get a shuttle ready. I would assume all responsibility for losing them and apologize to Lord Vader. And then he apology.
I mean, you tried.
Captain, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Captain Nita.
Apology accepted, Captain Nita.
And he
See, that's a similar kind of quip that we were referring
yeah,
to
he
before.
like passive aggressive,
like
eat a dick, haha.
yeah, like apology accepted,
Yeah,
but,
go
but,
fuck yourself.
but I killed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I get this was kind of like the next step to that. Don't force my hand.
Oh my god. What James Earl Jones, 87 years old. 87?
Yeah,
87 years old.
for the most part, his dialogue and how he sounded was fine. Very much. I mean, if you watch the show Rebels, he's in Rebels season 2 and sounds fine. You know, I mean, if you're really looking at like
one of the best Darth Vader lines is in Star Wars Rebels, I think.
which one was it?
When Ezra's like, I'm not afraid of you or something, and he's like, then you will die braver than most.
That's
like, oh, man,
that's good.
that was
That's good. That's great. Yeah.
Good Vader line.
That's a good rate of mine.
I want to see how old James Earl Jones is.
He's got to be close to. He's like 86 or something. I'm telling you, he's not.
85.
Yeah, he's getting on. He'll be 86 in January, so he's getting on in years.
Oh man,
Dum,
he's
ba-da-ba-dum.
I thought he still sounded good. He sounded a little more lively than he did in Rebels.
I'm sure they did a bunch of takes and were like, "Can we do it again with a little more umph?" You know, and he's 87 years old. I'm trying my best. You know,
Yeah.
he's an old man now, but very old man. But still good. And you know,
he still sounded good, and it was cool.
yeah, because I mean, if you had somebody that wasn't James Earl Jones doing it, then you'd know. You know, it'd be like a video game when you hear Darth Vader and it's not James Earl Jones. That's
I hate that.
I hate what I'm saying. You know,
Absolutely hate
You
that.
know.
It doesn't. It never
never does.
sounds good.
That's how it is in Battlefront and a million other video games where you don't hear. It's like, oh, it's not James Earl. They couldn't muster up a few bucks to pay James Earl Jones.
Yeah, I wonder what it is. Like, I wonder if he'll only do movies and like major
No, there's
things.
probably just not money
I
in the
feel like
budget
he's
to pay
really
him.
he's a really nice guy, and
He
probably for like for Rebels, he's probably like, it's for the kids. And
Yeah.
like, you know,
They probably had a little bit of a bigger budget. I don't think they have the kind of
It
budget
is
like
Disney.
that for the video games.
Disney, like the channel
Disney
has a
XD.
lot of money. I mean, and
Yeah.
it is a CG show, and it looks
Yeah.
good.
I think he only got paid $5,000 to do A New Hope, the voice for New Hope.
Wow.
Yeah, that was what he got paid. I think it was like a day or two of work.
Can we
And-
get Ahsoka Tano the movie?
Yes.
I would like Ahsoka Tano the movie.
They have a book for Ahsoka.
I hear it's good.
Yeah, I don't have it on my Audible. I bought a bunch
Yeah,
of
maybe
on
I'll
Audible.
actually buy it. I
Yeah.
haven't bought a book in a while.
I have to read on Audible. I have Lost Stars. I have Bloodline, and then a few like non-fiction kind of Star Wars books. I'd read How Star Wars Conquered the Universe by Chris Taylor. That was a good one. Talks, but that's nonfiction. Talks about the back end and Lucas and all everything that happened throughout the 70s and 80s and beyond. was
So,
good.
are you going to go? How many times are you going to go see this movie?
I'll probably at least see it one more time, probably in 3D. I like to do.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it in 3D, but
Kinda
I
wanna
don't
see
want
it
to
3D,
pay
yeah.
for it.
I know. I paid $32 for 2 tickets.
I bought
non-3D.
a
on
$20 package of a stupid.
I saw that.
I'm weak, and I bought a metal bucket,
Commemorative metal bucket.
popcorn bucket.
Yeah,
And
it was
a
actually it was funny because it was a deal. It was
A deal. Yeah,
$20
you know what? If you think about it, it really like, if you get a full large popcorn, that's like,
How much is a full large popcorn there?
it has to be like $10.
It's got to be close to 10.
Because the small one is 6 something.
Yeah, it's got to be close to 10.
So like,
$9.85.
yeah, something ridiculous like
Yeah.
that. So the large soda has to be close to that.
Yeah.
And then the bucket with the cup was $20, and I was just like,
I saw it too when I went up
it's
to
like
get
when you
my
go to
stuff.
a concert, and it's like,
Yeah.
this is only gonna come around.
Exactly.
Nine Inch Nails album, by the way, did you hear that?
What
Anyway,
happened?
this is I don't know. This is a Nine Inch Nails album coming out. Like
Oh
a,
yeah,
like an
next,
EP.
yeah, I heard next like Christmas Eve I think it comes out right or next
23rd?
week 23rd. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good. Great,
Yeah, I just
good.
heard about that today. Yeah. Go check
I'm
that out.
happy.
Yeah, that'll be good.
No
Yeah.
one can ruin my mood.
No one could ruin my Christmas mood with new Trent Reznor material. Yeah, that should be good.
Reznor,
I'm
working
pumped.
on the new Star Wars spinoff.
Yeah,
The Han
he
Solo
should-
spinoff.
the Han Solo spinoff. Soundtrack. Doing, but
That'd be awesome.
yeah, right. Just like
The
ambient,
moody-
yeah, exactly. Moody, ambient music.
No, he would have to do a movie about like IG-88.
Yeah, it'd be something dark. Yeah, and dark and robotic. Yeah,
Yeah,
like very much
exactly.
electronic and
That'd be awesome.
industrial.
Yo,
yeah.
make this happen. Trent
I-
Reznor, are you out there?
Trent Reznor, listen to that. Trent Reznor, if you're listening, you got to score the IG-88 standalone movie.
Pitch it to.
You know they'll make it eventually.
Pitch it to George, even to George.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good idea.
I think it would be a good idea.
Yeah, I always liked that character. I had no
It's like
idea he had a
poetry.
name. Yeah, they always rhyme. I don't know why, as long as the paychecks rhyme, one
Oh
billion
my
here, a
God.
billion there, they match, they rhyme.
Oh
It's
my
gonna be
God.
great. That's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
God. Please, no more George.
I heard Lucas actually watched this movie and liked it. He even came on set with Gareth Edwards and.
I definitely think he would like this movie more than TFA because
Yeah.
it doesn't mirror A New Hope.
Yeah, well, that's what he said about TFA. Although I'm sure he's contractually obligated not to be able to say that. Oh, I think it sucks. But he said how they wanted to do a retro movie. I wanted to just tell a story. In other
And
words,
that's
taking jabs at it.
I mean, honestly,
been
I
taking
think that's the
jabs.
best thing about Rogue One. It tells a story. It doesn't.
Tells a story that it's an original story, but I mean,
tell a story.
it's a story that we knew what was going to happen.
But
know?
did it need to be told?
But did it need to be told?
Did this movie? That's a question. Did this movie need to be made? No.
No.
But am I glad it was? Yes.
Sure. I mean, they fleshed out something that we, essentially was said in A New Hope. That they stole
Wow,
the
a
plans.
prequel that didn't feel unnecessary for once.
Odd.
Yeah.
I know, and I guess that was maybe the biggest gamble going in, was that just another prequel. We know what's going to happen in the end, but that was
nice.
I was never that was never really a concern of mine when coming up to Rogue One. There's it's another prequel. We know it's going to happen. We know the characters are probably not going to last. We know that the plans do get to the rebels of the Death Star and all that, but never bothered me. So, and it was good. All in all, I mean, do you like it better than The Force Awakens?
I thought about it, and I think so. If for the only reason that I just like that it's its own tale.
Yeah.
It's not something that comes it's just. I don't know how to describe how I feel about The Force Awakens. I don't think it's a bad movie at all. I think it's a fantastic movie. I loved it. It awakens the child in me.
It awakens my.
But this movie was something else,
Mhm.
and it was like it appealed to, I guess, the adult Star Wars fan in me.
Definitely. I now very much looks and has the feel of Star Wars.
Definitely.
This movie. Definitely. Maybe even more so than The Force Awakens does.
In a different way.
In a different way, exactly. And it's darker, so it kind of feels a little more Empire Strikes Back, but at the same time very much feels A New Hope because you're leading into it.
Do you think
a lot of that imagery is similar?
You think Plinkett's gonna like this movie?
Yeah. I think the guy, the Red Letter Media, I think Mr. Plinkett
Best
will,
things about this movie: no shoehorn Jedi.
No George Lucas.
No shoe. I think
that was another thing.
No
And I would-
shoehorn Jedi.
That was one of the things that kind of concerned me going up to. It's like, well, this is going to be the first Star Wars movie where you don't see a lightsaber battle.
in a while.
Well, was there a Star Wars movie without a lightsaber battle?
You're right.
There's always they always put a Star
Yeah,
Wars
Every
lightsaber
single one
battle.
except for this
Except
one.
for this one.
Except this one. This one just had a massacre.
This one had a lightsaber massacre, but not a lightsaber.
Yeah,
lightsaber
no.
battle.
Dun, dun,
Dun
dun,
dun
dun,
dun
dun,
dun dun
dun.
Kora Matara. Yeah, there wasn't that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is moving into this, I was like, well, how am I, being the Star Wars fan that I am and liking the idea of the Jedi and loving, being a fanboy and loving lightsabers and all of that, how am I gonna feel about seeing a Star Wars movie without lightsabers? Like is that going to am I gonna watch this movie and be like, well, it was lacking that. It was lacking lightsabers.
I think actually that's what made it feel like one of the old movies the most. The fact that there
wasn't right.
Yeah,
Sure.
and it was just like this one guy who was just like this remnant. And that's what made him so threatening.
And that's what A New Hope really was. I mean, you had the lightsaber was whipped out twice. It was your father's lightsaber, and he turns it on.
Yep.
In
and
Obi-Wan's
on the ship
house.
when he's training with it,
Okay, so 3 times he turns it on, turns it off,
and in the bar.
all right, so it's 4 times. Excuse me. All right, it was used a little bit, but really not that much. I mean, you could probably 2 minutes total, right? Because
And then
mainly because they didn't because the effect was difficult to do, probably.
And then when I left you, I was but the learner. Now I.
Of
am
course,
the master.
that's why I say with 2 minutes, because
Right.
about
Mhm.
7 seconds when he turns it
A
on.
little
and
bit of
off.
shuffling in a hallway.
Yeah, I mean, really, you're gonna call that a lightsaber battle? Just
Yeah.
gonna, they just, that was not the selling point of A New Hope in
Only a
1977.
master of evil.
Stop.
Ooh, sick burn.
Yeah, you got it now. You're a master of evil. Sick burn, bro. You're touching each other's sticks together. Obviously in the prequels it's used practically nonstop. You know, it's can't go anywhere without turning on the lightsaber. And they use them constantly. But the fact that maybe they weren't really used at all until one scene, made it cool because now he pulls it out.
Now hokey religion and ancient weapons, ancient, it's like 30 years old.
Yeah, no, ancient weapons. They were using it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Vader pull up, and you waited the whole movie for him to use it. You go through 2 hours of movie. And then there the red lightsaber is. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Thanks for that.
That Vader lightsaber said the
yeah,
like not the
not the like the that's like the Luke when Luke turns on his green one. It has that like a bursts out.
Yeah.
Vader's more.
Yeah, it has that hiss.
Yeah, hisses out.
So
yeah.
good.
But movie's great all in all. So I mean, if you're gonna rate it at 5, what would you give it?
Out of 5?
Yeah. Or out of 10, whatever.
Let's do out of 5. Out of 5.
You can give it
I
point.
guess
Give it fractions here if you want.
4? 4?
4 is fine for me.
Yeah, I think a 4.
But
solid 4.
So what do you give Force Awakens then?
I almost want to say 4, but in a different way.
Yeah.
I think they're
hard for me. I'm gonna have to watch this movie again.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch it again. But right now it's sitting pretty. I can't.
Sitting at
I don't
4
sit
for me.
there and think of anything wrong with it.
I think I give Force Awakens a 4.5 on like Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe I could give this 4.25 or like because when you think about a 4 out of 5 is 80%. It's like on an 80% scale. I kind of want to give it more than an 80%. I want to give it like an 85%.
Right.
Something like that. I think at least deserves an 85. A 9, and it's hard for me to really figure that out now. I gotta really let the dust settle a bit. See it again, because when I was watching that movie, maybe the first half an hour, I was kind of leaning towards like, well, it's all right, we'll see. But then at the end of it, and then the big Vader scene,
It all comes together.
It all comes together beautifully into A New Hope. So it's really that last act that really is a big bang and makes you really like that movie. So I think now that I know that last final act is great and very much worth it. Might sway me to give it a little higher of a score, but I do want to go see it again. And
I'm never gonna be able to watch Endor the same way again because that planet forest raid was way better.
yeah, exactly. The Scarif.
It was like, what if we
Tropical
do
planet.
a Return of the Jedi thing at the end of this movie?
But
Better.
yeah,
Yeah.
without the
teddy bears.
without the teddy bears.
And
genius.
that's another thing. They could have used this small rebel group to just do the job if they used more like guerrilla type of tactics.
Sure. Yeah.
This movie was also not a comedy like The Force Awakens was.
I know Force Awakens had a lot of maybe fisted in humor. And when they were writing it, well, we need humor in here. The originals had humor. The humor in here was in the same way that it was tasteful in Empire. Now, Empire had humor and stuff. He could use a good kiss.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And
but this movie had a humor too, but it was very periodic. It was very
periodic. But this
was-
movie had the same type of kind of
right.
held back humor, kind of, in K2SO, and a lot of his lines when he drops the bag that she gives him. It's like,
Yeah.
dropping this.
Yeah, she gives him a bag to like hold, and so while they bring some whatever it is,
and
like back to
yeah,
wherever they're going at
Yeah.
the time, and he just drops
he
it on the
just
floor
drops
like
it.
this
It's
isn't my
just-
crap.
Yeah, he's
like
I don't give a fuck about this.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah, again, different. And then so there's like little.
she shoots a robot that looks like him, and he's like,
Yeah.
and then he
Did
pops
you know
up.
that was me?
Did
yeah,
you know
like,
that wasn't me?
Yeah.
And she just was like,
yeah, yeah, exactly. So that all that, a lot of the humor came in from him. Oh, it was and I liked all of it. I liked that as a character. Great. I felt like we should have seen a little more of him. But yeah, I guess you got enough of him, and you needed to keep a lot of it open for all the human characters, and of which there were kind of a lot.
yeah,
Because you have Jin, then you have
Donnie Yen,
and Donnie Yen's friend, and the pilot guy.
the two most badass Asian men in the galaxy.
Oh yeah. The
And
Force
not-
is strong with me. I am strong with the Force. Oh no, the Force is one with me. I'm one with the Force. Whatever
yeah,
you're saying.
and not representative of Asians Newt Gunray.
Yes, my lord. We make it legal. Very legal.
We just want. What
we
did he
want
say?
Lord Sidious promised us peace.
Yeah. What? What are you talking
He's
about?
talking about peace. Here's his death.
Like for like 3 movies, he's
He
been
lasted
giving you
3
nothing but
He's
misery.
been screwing you for 3 movies.
Promised you peace. Shut up.
I the way I see it, so well maybe he got it because he was arrested in the end of the end of Phantom Menace. I figured maybe the Emperor pulled some strings or Darth Sidious pulled some strings and got him out of jail.
But
So he kept
why? To use him as a patsy?
You could use him as a puppet, yeah, patsy, yeah. I would guess so, but obviously that's just me speculating.
He's so incompetent, though. Like, why?
Well, that's why you liked him because he was completely ignorant and incompetent.
Wipe out.
I finally get rid of him and the other fucking morons.
Yeah. Been waiting 3 movies to wipe out Viceroy Gunner. He definitely says it with a lot of vindication.
Viceroy Gunner.
Wipe him out.
Like, oh yeah, I hate that guy.
Yeah.
Well, yes, master. Whatever you say. Yeah.
Oh my god, like, can you imagine if Vader sounded like him?
Yeah. Yes, master. Don't choke on your barbecue, master. I'm still getting over that Padme
What
thing.
have I done?
What have I done? I just killed Sam Jackson.
Oh my god.
You know, he won't be in a sequel. Although he said in an interview, like, nah, Mace Windu's still alive. You know, just his way of trying to maybe shoehorn himself into another Star Wars movie.
Good.
Yeah, he would love another paycheck from Lucasfilm and Disney. But so it's a good movie. Go out and see it.
Yeah, this disjointed review of Star Wars.
Yeah, well, I mean, we went over
Yeah,
the
we're
whole
just
thing.
talking about like
Shooting the shit about.
yeah,
the
no,
movie.
go see the movie. It's worth the ridiculously high movie ticket prices.
Yeah, it's worth the overpriced movie prices nowadays. So go. Like I said, I paid for non-3D. I paid $32. That's $16 a ticket for non-3D.
And before the
what
movie,
would 3D have fucking
you get
costed?
15 minutes of rebranding.
Yeah, exactly. Like
All the
rebrand
trailers.
every trailer leading up to Rogue One is
rebranding.
a rebranding.
Except
it's a
for-
reimagination. There's
Except
no
for
new
Guardians
ideas.
of the Galaxy, which is just a sequel of a movie.
But that counts though.
I mean, I guess it does.
Sequels, reimaginations, rebrandings,
Guardians of the
reboots,
Galaxy counts as a Star Wars
soft
movie, right?
reboots. I know, right? Yeah, just everything is just stuff you've already, it's just brand recognition, stuff that you did, because those are the most marketable
The
things.
third line of Spider-Man movies, which I'm still gonna go see.
Yeah, I know. Homecoming, and I think that was maybe the best trailer of the bunch.
I like that kid. He's got a good fake New York accent.
Yeah, he's British, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't know.
I think
could
so.
Be wrong
What's his
about
name again?
that. I forget.
Let's
I have a
look him
terrible
up.
memory.
Yeah.
Tom Holland. That's
Tom
his name.
Holland.
I think that's his name. Tom Holland.
Hold on.
Am I right? Am I wrong?
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Using the internet.
Yes. And Michael Giacchino's doing the
Yeah,
score
Tom
for
Holland.
this.
Yeah.
Tom Holland.
Who?
Michael
Is that the guy who
Giacchino's.
did
He's doing the score for this. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's doing the score for all. He's the new John Williams, really. Not nearly as good, unfortunately, but
What did he do
did
before this?
Jurassic World. He's done Lost. He's done a lot of stuff. He's been all around.
What
all around.
about Bear McCreary? When are people going to get that guy? He did Battlestar Galactica. which is
Oh,
my
Bear
favorite TV
McCreary?
show.
I know Joel
McCreary, not Query. McCreary.
Bear McCreary.
Creary.
How do you?
C-R-M-C.
Yeah.
C-R-E-A-R-Y.
McCreary.
Yeah.
McQueary.
McQueary. What are you, okay?
Is his first name Bear?
Bear. Yes, his
Yeah.
name is Bear.
Yeah. Joel McNeely did the score to Shadows of the Empire.
Yes.
'Cause that was an original score. They did
and
for
had
that.
fantastic songs on it.
Great. They should have got him to
That's
do it.
that is actually maybe my favorite soundtrack as a whole.
As a Star Wars soundtrack or a soundtrack
Yeah,
in
like all the
general?
original songs are good.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's only like there's only
soundtrack.
how many songs?
12
songs?
tracks, maybe.
But every
That's
single
great.
one is awesome. The
Oh, yeah.
the Beggars Canyon chase.
That's I mean every track on that is great. Night Skies, all of it.
Shizor theme.
Sizor's theme, all of it's gold. In fact, let me pull up the other. Maybe it was a track. And the Night Skies. There's a big crescendo up to the
the Skyhook thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it has like its own little like choir thing too. That was a good thing in the game too, like the fucking Shizor ship,
Yeah.
and then like there's the Skyhook, and then
I-
the
you
Star
know,
Destroyer comes in,
What always pissed me off about that level was that when you'd shoot the Star Destroyer, it always said 100%.
and it never.
So it gave you the impression that maybe you could kill it, you could destroy it.
You try to shoot the shield
You
generators.
shoot shield generators. You figured maybe that was the weak spot or something, but it was always at 100%.
Yeah.
And that actually pissed me off. And then you'd always hear like rumors like, "Oh no, apparently if you shoot it for 20 minutes straight, it goes to 99%." You know, like stupid like
Yeah,
video game kind of like rumor shit. And then you'd spend your afternoon doing it, and nothing would happen.
I like that level because you could just fly around fighting things
Yeah.
for like ever until you went inside.
Very much similar to Return of the Jedi, because you got to go in
Yeah,
and blow up the Skyhook. You
Mhm.
got to shoot your bombs at it a few times. You got to actually go in through each way because one. So that was cool.
but Dash Rendar does not make it out alive.
Oh, so.
Or does he? Yeah, that's like
does.
the whole thing, right? Or does he?
Or does he? But because he does, yeah.
Does he? Did he make it?
He makes it out. Yeah.
Oh, does
he
he?
just everyone thinks he dies. And,
oh, okay.
You know, he
what
says,
a badass.
Yeah, he says better to be a martyr. You know, what good's being a martyr if you're not allowed to see it or
yeah.
whatever. He says it to his droid, and who's kind of looks a little K2SO-ish.
Yeah.
That droid.
I think
forget-
Dash Rendar beat Han Solo in a fist fight. I think so.
He was pretty bad. He was pretty grizzled.
Yeah, and he like was fighting like IG-88,
Yeah,
Boba Fett on his own.
Fucking like hand on hand fighting like
Wampas.
grizzled, wampas, grizzled friggin' bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Han Solo's just running from them.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Han Solo had to run from all those guys. Dash Rendar's fist fighting them, and IG-88. And IG-88 was a bad one. I see the score here. I have it up, and the reception of the score has got a very high rating. Very few negative words about the score.
About what? Which in what?
About the Shadows of the Empire score.
Right. Oh, amazing.
Yeah, the writing is unabashedly romantic, inspiration. But then this guy said the only bad words, he never really put his own spin on it. It's like, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he
He
did.
totally did with some of the tracks. The
The first track on the album is awesome.
Is that the dance of Princess Leia or something like that?
No, it's I don't know. I don't remember the names of the songs. I have it on.
It's listen, it's a great score for a movie that was never made. You know, the whole reason they made it was a multimedia
book?
project. Yes, well, I have the book in my room. Shadows of the Empire was essentially a multimedia project
yeah.
because there was no Star Wars stuff in the mid 90s. You know, that's when it became had a resurgence again. In 95 they remade the toys, and then they started making this, and they made Shadows of the Empire as a book, a video game, toys and comics, and also this and the soundtrack. So the soundtrack was to go with all of that. It was kind of like, a movie that we didn't make. It was just an idea, and it was
I used to
great.
listen to it while I read the book.
Oh yeah, I have the book inside. Yeah. That I just played that score out a million times along with the originals. But I know
Whenever
I
I
know
end
that
up listening
score
to Star Wars music. That's always
on
something
the
I
list.
pop on.
I mean, one of the it's right here. There's a piece on the Star Wars Wikipedia. Some might say better than ever, so slightly possibly better than the Phantom Menace score. The main complaint was that not enough of John Williams' themes were used, which I don't necessarily feel that that's right. He
Not
used,
at all.
in fact, I forget which track it was. I don't know if it's Night Skies. Yeah, it's Night Skies. It says right here because he uses the Force theme at the end of Night. That's the track Night Skies. It goes, and it's very powerful. In fact, one of the most powerful Force themes that was ever written. You know, in my
And
opinion.
he used a smaller orchestra too.
Yeah, a smaller orchestra. Definitely not the full piece. London Symphony Orchestra that Williams used. So that's great. So definitely go check that out if you're a fan, and check out Rogue One. I mean, it's great. Can't say that it isn't. I don't think anybody's gonna come out
Something unlike you've never seen. The Star War.
of this. The Star Wars. Yeah, is that the original trailer?
I don't even know. Like that's just what I figure it would sound like.
The
like one of those old,
the original trailer was similar to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So I mean, both will get positive reviews from both of us. So
Yeah, go. We're gonna see it again.
Definitely
and then
gonna
maybe
see
we'll
it.
have other thoughts that
yeah,
we'll share.
maybe come back again and.
But it's definitely gonna be something we're gonna have to watch because we watched Force Awakens like 6-7 times in the theaters. So.
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna go see this again, and yeah, I kind of want to figure out maybe if I like this more. My big gripe with Force Awakens the whole time was the fact that it's like, well, it is kind of a soft reboot. Yeah, I said that in the last episode to Sean, and Sean was kind of like, almost like as if I was saying blasphemy. It's like, what? What did you just say? You're saying that the 7th Star Wars movie is just a remake of a one that they've already done, but it kind of is. They kind of rebooted. Spiritual
remake. I don't even know what to call it.
successor.
Yeah, it's just like
spiritual
kind of like,
successor.
it
to
carries the spirit of A New Hope. That's what
yeah,
it does.
definitely does. And but what you kind of have to do because it's the hero's journey again with Rey. I just hope that they don't mimic Empire and Return.
I don't want. I just want that to be the jump off point.
Yes, just use it as the jump off point.
As a jump off.
Exactly, and that's the whole idea here, and that's why it has a 90 whatever percent on Rotten Tomatoes. Even though, stuff we've seen before. It's like, well, that's fine to get us back to Star Wars, after the prequels that people didn't like.
But don't do this shit again.
But don't redo Empire. Do not, because we want to see new things that are going to wow us and shock us and, make us feel these emotions. Not like, well, we saw that, in 1980.
Yeah, and those things aren't what make Star Wars good. It's like if you watch, like I said, I rewatched the Plinkett Force Awakens, and he's like showing all the people that are like watching the trailer. They're like, "The Millennium Falcon."
Yeah.
Just like
the fan service. Yeah.
It's like, okay, but that's not what makes Star Wars good.
That's not at all ever what made Star Wars good. Those are cool things, but they're very much
Star Wars.
Things that are in Star Wars and you've come to love, and they're very much fanboy things. But what makes Star Wars great is the story, is the characters that you know and love. Is all those things that make you emotionally invested. Like, oh, I can't wait to see, where Luke goes. Was Darth Vader lying? Like if right after you see Empire Strikes Back, and you don't know what's going to happen on Return of the Jedi, before 1983 when it comes out, you're invested in the story. You're invested in the characters. You're invested where everything's going to go.
Because let's be real, you got something like you see the Millennium Falcon, and it's a cool ship, but
it's just a toy.
In the first movie, when they were like, I know some maneuvers, and just
is listing
listing slightly to the left.
They did that. It said that at Family Guy. Yeah. I know some maneuvers. We'll lose them. Oh, listing slightly to the left.
That's what I always
maneuver?
thought about that scene when I got older, and I was finally older. I was like, they're not doing anything.
Yeah,
they're just flying straight.
Just flying straight. But back then you didn't. That was even then that was like state of the art.
Of course. Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, I don't knock it. It's just it's just kind of silly to be like, oh my god.
I know some few maneuvers will lose them. Just going straight, going straight while the the Star Destroyers fly over them. But
concentrate all firepower on that Super Star Destroyer.
Concentrate all firepower. It's a trap.
And then sir, we've lost our bridge deflector shields. Intensify the forward batteries. I don't want anything to get through.
Cut to guy screaming.
Yeah. And then I like how the like there's like another Imperial captain or whatever.
He's pointing
at that shit's coming this way.
We should go.
Yeah, I know. And then intensify forward firepower.
Nobody could shoot that thing.
Yeah, no, shoot it down, and then they jump off the bridge, and then that was
they jump into like the little.
They
pit
shoved
area,
into the pit area, like that was
probably
gonna
dead anyway though.
Oh, they're dead.
Very dead.
They're very dead at that point. Unfortunately, once they lost their bridge deflector shields.
I would be at the back of the bridge that whole time, ready to go.
But I'm opening the fucking door. I'm opening the
shield generators down. Gotta go.
Yeah, and then I fucking hijack one of friggin' the Imperial shuttles and get off the thing before it blows into the Death Star.
You stay here. I'll be right back.
Yeah, because it did crash into the Death Star after it.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah, it crashes into the Death Star.
And you could just feel Palpatine being like, "Oh my god,
I'm getting pissed off right now."
You fucking fools. But we've gone over in time today, but it was it's a big special hour and a half episode. Andrew, you want to do any plugs? Andrew's a great local artist.
I don't know. I not really.
You don't want to do any plugs?
No, not
for
really.
your art?
It's okay.
You don't do commissions or anything?
No, I do.
You don't want to plug it? You sure?
No, not really. I need to actually have like an advertisement to show up to get people interested. I feel like,
you don't have like an Instagram or anything where you put up your art? I don't know why you don't.
I do have an Instagram. Actually.
Plug your Instagram.
My Instagram is just shape_3.
Shape_3?
Yeah, it's that's it. That's really
Andrew's a great artist. He does commissions.
I do traditional line art.
Yeah, traditional line art. You do
as where most people work in a digital media.
The digital. You don't do any digital at all?
Not really. You know what it was? It was just that like I had always worked with traditional, and by the time I got my hands on digital, it was like I have to relearn
Right.
how to do this, and I do not have time.
Sure.
I mean, if I had more access to like there's something out there called a Cintiq, which is a very expensive type of
That's
tablet.
expensive piece.
Yeah.
Was a couple $1,000, right?
Maybe like $1,000, maybe like
Yeah.
$1,000. But it's like drawing on paper.
I've
but
seen it.
it's-
Yeah, I've seen it.
it's very
You don't do any digital coloring or anything. It's all hand
no,
done.
everything's hand.
Yeah, no,
traditional
yeah,
media.
nice hands, nice stuff. So, yeah, that'd be a nice gift for somebody if you want to get a commission
Yes,
from.
draw the Star Wars.
Yeah, draw some Star Wars. Draw some sabers.
They're
but,
actually it's kind of hard to make a saber look good on paper. 'Cause
Yeah,
how
nice.
do I make this
How do I make a
energy look cool?
energy nice and glowy?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it for this week. It's a nice long episode. Go watch Rogue One. If you haven't seen it, you've been spoiled. So I hope you.
Oh, one thing we will say is that there is no title crawl.
There is no title crawl. We didn't mention.
Yeah, don't
that.
expect that.
So much to talk about in this
and the
movie.
Rogue One logo's a little kind of.
So bad.
Yeah, it was
like
a little
I-
kind of.
you
Oh, that
could've
was
did
underwhelming.
You could have did that Nye movie. I mean,
Yeah,
that's how bad
was.
it looked.
That's how it.
How did they
I don't
let
think
that
it was
go?
Bad. It was kind of.
It looked like somebody did it Nye movie.
Yeah.
It didn't look professional enough.
I don't
it was
know.
just weak. It was just weak.
That was the. I think that's the one thing that I would just say was kind of like.
Because you go from a long time in a far, far way,
Here
and
we
then
go. We're back in it.
yeah, I know we're back in, and I could talk about it for another 15 minutes.
Yeah, it did have that. I just realized that.
Yeah,
But then
I knew there wasn't going to be a crawl, so when it went right into the movie, I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, I'm expecting it now, so let's just do the business and the plot at this point. And then you had an opening scene, and then you had the Rogue One title. You know,
Yeah.
like 10 minutes after the movie starts. Yeah, with like a cheesy kind of wannabe
Yeah.
Star Wars theme. Wasn't the
Yeah, it was like okay,
yeah, this isn't Star Wars theme. It's just kind of
but this is still cool.
a
whatever.
little sprinkle
Yeah,
of
it's
shit.
still
yeah.
cool.
It was all right, but yeah, and so that was. But then you get past that, you know, because the movie goes on for another 2 hours after that. But so it's good. Go watch it. Enjoy yourself. I hope you enjoyed this review.
Fire when ready,
Commander.
And we will be firing on all cylinders on our next episode. And follow us on the Facebook. Follow us on the Podomatic. Like us on the iTunes or review us on the iTunes. Nobody
Good.
reviews anymore. And then what else? Oh, subscribe to us on YouTube. I throw these on YouTube. We're constantly growing on the YouTube and in Podomatic. Usually in the top 100 podcasts of TV, film, Podomatic. And then that's pretty much it in the Facebook.
And the face.
And the Facebook. Yes, your Facebook will be deactivated.
All right, that's it for this week. Keep watching the stars.
Good.